We are in Spokane in the West Coast Conference on a Wednesday matchup of the Portland Pilots and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. It's games this year, including 2 in a row. And away we go, Dan Dickow. What's tempo going to be?
This is going to be a fast game. Gonzaga has led the country in scoring 4 of the last 5 years. They're not at that clip this year, but Portland wants to play fast as well.
Portland may dare Gonzaga to shoot threes and see if they can knock them down.
Well, Portland will employ a number of different zone defenses. Gonzaga must make them pay from the perimeter.
There's number 1. Fossey. Robertson misses on a runner, and Nembhard will try to push tempo on live ball turnovers and misses. Watson, a trail 3. How about that?
Well, you see Portland daring.
Yuto Yamanuchi Williams with a miss. Greg, a 3. I dare you. Why not? With the rebound, the Yamanuchi Williams. Masic out of Serbia, sophomore, the transfer from Hofstra and Maine. That's a foul. That's Ike.
Tried to get Ike back in the game, but there was no stoppage in play. Allowed
no run, and it was a 2-point win. Portland's on the board. But Gonzaga with an early lead. Nembhard pushing tempo. He's been a much better shooter in West Coast Conference play from distance. Right at 50%. Ike steps through and scores. Portland does not have an answer. Ike. Robertson almost doubled. Good rotation. Watson. You got 3 bigs out there. Nembhard bangs one 3.
That's important for Nembhard to get in on the action.
West Coast Conference Freshman of the Week for Portland in their 2 wins over Pepperdine and Pacific.
Yeah, Dang did an interesting prospect. Spent time in the NBA Academy. They like his potential.
With the rebound, and Portland has been awful from the field to start this game. Ike and a foul. Dan, because they have a promotion when the Bulldogs hit 10.
The 3-point shooting team that Coach Few has employed on many of occasions. They're built from the inside out. Defensively, I think they're really good. They've got a chance to continue to improve, but the 3-point shooting has been inconsistent.
Robertson. Nembhard. These are 2 pretty speedy guards going at each other. Huff, a 3.
Huff may be the best natural shooter of any player on this Gonzaga roster. 6'10", redshirt freshman from the Chicago area. He scores in bunches. When he can learn to play defense a little bit more against the higher caliber teams, he will
miss. Those are 2 freshmen that are seeing a lot of time for Mark Few.
Stromer started the first part of the year before Ben Gray got the assignment the last 7 games. That's, I think, allowed the rotations to even out a little bit more.
Now Robertson hits a 3, and now you can see where Portland gets their points as the 3s are starting to drop.
Well, they space the floor. They're aggressive beyond the 3-point arc, and they also provide a lot of freedom for Tyler Robertson to back down smaller guards.
Portland really doesn't have a true point guard. Both Masic and Gorosito are a couple of combo guards.
I had a chance to talk to Gorosito at shoot-around today. Gave us a little bit of Argentinian basketball history.
Closer to Tacos. This is as early as the Taco Watch has started in a long time here. Danged it. Danged it, nicely done. Lays it up and in.
It's a 5 o'clock on the West Coast tip. Normal time is 6, and occasional 8 o'clock, so much earlier and late arriving crowd.
Well, so far, they seem to have shaken off the St. Mary's law, and now fires. Good rebound by Yamanuchi Williams. Yuto. He can shoot the 3, and he hits it. He is a really interesting for the Bulldogs. It's approaching 4 minutes. Stromer feeds the post. Huff stepping through. And that's just too easy.
Too easy is right. He's one of those talented bigs that if you don't double, he can score in most one-on-one matchups. Left-hander, so he's got an obvious early advantage, but his touch is incredible for a young player.
Now Manucci Williams, nice little gentle hook. Boy, with the ball in his hands, he looks good. He had 8 and 7 rebounds in the win over Pacific.
3 on the previous possession. Nice jump hook over the left shoulder there. Lots of skill to be able to work and improve upon there.
Stromer, 8 threes. The three-point shooter last year is the Big Sky MVP at Eastern Washington. He was dynamite in the scrimmage win over Baylor and then hurt his knees, out for the year. Austin with a strong move and finish. All right, let's try it again. John, how worried should Gonzaga fans be?
Well, I think you have to still be cautiously optimistic, Rich, that Gonzaga can turn this thing around. Remember, in 2016, Gonzaga was in a similar situation, had to win the WCC tournament to get to the NCAA tournament.
Or Atlantis tournament, and then they value regular season titles here maybe more than other places do because it shows the consistency throughout the season. Yes, it looks like at this moment in time the conference tournament
Key players, you extract them from the
base to drive. EK has more space to go to work down low. A really big blow before the first regular season game of the year for Gonzaga.
Mark Few was talking just what John Rothstein was saying about, you know what, we've been in this spot before. Masic with a strong move and a right hand. Out west so far this year, it seems like all the good teams beat the other good teams, and it's especially tough to win on the road in that conference.
Yeah, there's some great venues in the Mountain West, difficult places to play. We spoke with Brian Dutcher, San Diego State's head coach, is great.
Now Portland trying to get a little bit of bounce in their step. Coleman Lemke comes in, and Lemke knocks one in.
Shooting ability from deep if you don't close out.
He had a great second half defensively in the win over Pepperdine and hit a big 3 in that game as well. And he hits a 3 here. Watson's back in, it's rolling hook, and it's good.
Entices a double team, it never fully commits. And then the jump hook to the middle.
Bol danged it, misses a 3. Watson hits a 3.
This year, including the win against UCLA, it's great to see a player finally really get the chance and make the most of it, such as he has this year.
That one goes down, halfway down, and follow is good by Braden Huggett.
Make sure you go plenty early.
Nemhard takes a peek at Mark Few. And away they go. Huff in tight. And the Bulldogs hang 50 on Portland in the first half. With 9, you might say, well, that's well under 500. But that's a heck of a lot better than 8 and 72. He's got this program moving in the right direction. Great recruiting class next year. Masic driving. And that's a good way to start chipping away.
Yeah, they are. Gets married to that three-point shot, but he's an aggressive driver with strength to be able to finish through contact.
Watson's wide open, and that's a mid-range jumper.
Well, baseline out of half. Not a lot of free throws either way. 3 for Gonzaga, 2 for Portland in that first half.
Hickman, he's hit 4 threes. Now Portland trying to figure out where they're going to get points here in this second half. Gorcito, Nemhard has had him most of the night. Danged it, hits a 3. Bol danged it.
Confidence. West Coast Conference reigning freshman of the week knocks that one down.
And remember, they're without Tyler Harris tonight. Harris, who's been a 3-time freshman of the week in the conference this year. And he is out with 3s.
12 per game at nearly 40% from beyond the arc in WCC play. Consistent in that category throughout the year.
Is that because they don't have a low post defender or a guy that can muscle a guy like EK or even Watson or even Greg? Greg to Watson. A little reversed. The Bulldogs bucket, 27-point lead.
No, in regards to, why do they allow threes? I mean, they don't necessarily have a shot blocker, but they really kind of try to pack the paint defensively and dare you.
Over the last couple of games at Rupp Arena, Kentucky's last 3 opponents in Lexington are combining to average over 97 points per game. For the Wildcats, that means they could have a high ceiling, but their defense has to get better, Rich. That's up
1 through 30.
1 through 30, and then 1 through 50, and then 1 through 75. And that goes neutral to 1 to 50, and then road gets you up 7 to 39.
Back-to-back threes, Gorosito then dinged it. And again, the way they shoot it from 3, they can climb back in and make this interesting in a hurry.
Nice games at 24 in the win over Pepperdine, at 34 on the road at Santa Clara. Nembhard finds Huff, who finds Watson. 20 for Watson. Here's something that Mark Few has to really like. For the Bulldogs tonight, 24 buckets, 16 assists.
Yeah, that coming after only 5 against St. Mary's.
Masic, that's a 3. Gorosito, that's a mismatch size-wise. Danged it, driving hard. That's a nice move for a guy who scored 9 points in his first 10 games. But coming on, he had a dozen in the win over Pepperdine. He had a double-double against Pacific. That drops.
Well, that's the great equalizer that Braden Huff has. Gets beat on the dribble by Deng Dick on one side, but because he can shoot it and stretch the floor beyond the 3-point line, he makes you so dangerous.
That's a heck of a
nosed. Really is married to the 3-point line a lot of times, but he's starting to diversify his game, which I think will impact his ability to find more open looks.
Masic off a double screen, cut off there. Shot clock's down. Gorosito with 4 to shoot. Got to get it up. Does. Man, this guy can play. Juanse Gorosito. He's got 13. He had just 3 in the first half.
A little shoulder bump to create a little bit of space away from Nembhard. Terrific shot from Gorosito.
Huff spinning.
Such.
Stromer off the Gorosito miss. And of course, Huff, the freshman, banging against Robertson. Soft little hook. This is a clinic. Gorosito off a screen. John Rossi, man of the people today at our hotel, ordering a smoothie on the app on his phone in Spokane, Washington. Outstanding work by him.
You guys get to stay at the Great Davenport Hotel, one of the best in the country.
A smoothie is part of your pregame prep.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of pregame prep. You know, what was the Sun Tzu quote? Every battle is won before it's ever lost.
That's
before
right.
it's ever fought.
Well, John, I know you go to a number of college basketball venues across the country. You've got to check.
For such a long time with Jack and Dan's. Would you encounter John Stockton down there these days? Does John go down there on occasion? That's Nembhard with a 3.
I'm sure he's Gonzaga program as much as anybody, but he's excited to see the grit that this team needs to show down the stretch to continue the streak of NCAA tournament appearances. He feels it's there. He's looking forward to watch it come back.
I thought it was going to be the fact that he owns a... Gorosito throws it away. Kanovich, step through. That's as Euro as you get. Around is his record in NCAA tournament games, 41 and 22. Of course, 2 championship game appearances. Strong rebound and a foul
at the line.
So we're under 7 minutes. This has been Gonzaga's game since they opened, hitting 4 threes and streaking to a 16-1 lead. EK backing in, falling away. That's good rotation. Robertson, long three. Won't go. Williams, the rebound. Knocked to the floor. Gregg driving. Gregg. It's a block. He did not get to the tournament because no one got to the tournament. In the Big East, they wouldn't have that type of success. I mean, who do you think they're pulling for him right now? And so both of these schools will have a close rival all of a sudden in their conference. Gonzaga will have Washington State. That's Kranovich for a three. That's 15 threes for the Bulldogs. And then Oregon State and Portland, you would expect, will, for the 2 years at least from the start, be a nice matchup. He may be the...
And a lot of that, unfortunately, is because you're at Washington State. But, you know, Kyle Smith knows the WCC as well as anybody. He was an assistant at St. Mary's, and then he was the head coach at San Francisco.
Williams with a steal in the bucket. Length of conference, which, you know, there's a huge divide between the top and the bottom of this conference. And hopefully with the addition of those two schools, it irons that out. He just keeps scoring, does Braden Huff. He's one shy of a career high. He's got 25.
It's like running water. It's hard to turn off once you get it going. Braden Huff has got it going tonight.
Mosic, that's a dynamite move. And a foul at the rim and a shot at a three-point play. Mosic has got skills. The athletic department is starting to get very aggressive about 36 buckets. That's a good sign. I know that Portland's defense is certainly not at the caliber of St. Mary's, but just 5 assists in that loss to St. Mary's on Saturday. Stromer, tip, Kranovich. As we've hit the 2-minute mark. And of course, on CBS on Saturday, Gonzaga side game in the Chase Center. You and I called a
couple years ago, lost to Arkansas in the Sweet 16. Well, coming into tonight, they'd won their last two, granted against Pepperdine and Pacific, but they showed signs of being more versatile on the offensive end of the floor. Defensively and on the glass, they were much more competitive.
Well, that's a nice effort there from Vu.
He's got some nice young pieces. It's a matter of keeping them together.
Welcome in a really, really good recruiting class. Sukio, the follow away, got it. Lemke misses the three, and Gonzaga will hold the ball. And the Bulldogs, no hangover from that loss. And there were questions of how they would react to losing to their rivals, St. Mary's here. The 2-point loss. Well, they have passed that test, and now it's on to Kentucky on CBS on Saturday for a much anticipated game, and quite honestly, a much needed win for Mark Few and the Bulldogs to try to rebuild a tournament resume.
Oh, mature approach